ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधाति भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्हारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैर्नदी कैवर्तककेशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरगः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे ऊकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् तृतीयोऽध्यायः
अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः
सदृशं
चेष्टते
स्वस्याः
प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि
प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि
प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि
प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि
निग्रहः किं करिष्यति
निग्रहः
करिष्यति
सदृशमिति
सदृशमिति
सदृशम् अनुरूपं चेष्टते
सदृशम्
अनुरूपं चेष्टते
कस्याः स्वस्याः स्वकीयायाः प्रकृतेः
स्वकीयायाः
प्रकृतिः नाम
नाम
पूर्वकृतधर्माधर्मादिसंस्कारः
पूर्वकृतधर्मादिसंस्कारः
वर्तमानजन्मादाभविक्तः
वर्तमानजन्मदोऽभ्यक्तः
सा प्रकृतिः
सा प्रकृतिः
तस्याः सदृशमेव
तस्याः सदृशमेव
सर्वो जन्तुः ज्ञानवानपि चेष्टते
सर्वो जन्तुः ज्ञानवानपि चेष्टते
किं पुनर्मूर्खः
किं पुनर्मूर्खः
तस्मात् प्रकृतिं यान्ति अनुगच्छन्ति भूतानि
तस्मात् प्रकृतिं यान्ति अनुगच्छन्ति भूतानि
निग्रहः निषेधरूपः
निग्रहः निषेधरूपः
किं करिष्यति मम वान्यस्य वा
किं करिष्यति मम वान्यस्य वा।
We have seen this shloka along with the Bhashyan. Prakritim yanti bhutani. Bhutani yanti bhutani acharanti anugachanti cheshtante in keeping with the Prakriti. Prakriti is svava, nature. Nature is decided by the action which are repeated. Repeated action determines the nature of the person. It becomes a habit. So you can call this Prakriti as Swabhava, or you can call Samskara, or Purva, Vasana, anything, any name. It's all same. So all the beings act in keeping with their Swabhava. Jnanavanapi, even the jnani is also cheshtate, he also acts in keeping with the prakriti. But the only difference is jnani will never violate dharma. His jnanam is jnanam, because of his jnanam, therefore his actions will be in keeping with the order dharma. In fact, he is dharma titaha jnani, but still he will act in keeping with the wish or the order of Ishvara. So therefore, to say that jnani also acts is not an excuse that prakriti, the human beings also are allowed to act as they wish. But that is what the meaning seems to be. But it is not actually, because you have to analyze the shloka to understand with the other shloka, the following shloka also. Together, if you see the whole picture, it will understand. That is, with regard to the swabhava, with regard to the nature, which has been already formed because of the purva krita karma, that is what Bhashikara says, purva krita dharma dharmati, dharma adharma, dharma adharma purva krita, which have been done before, which produces papam and punyam. So the actions which have been committed before, purva krita, dharma dharma samskara, dharma samskara, adharma samskara. So samskaras are created by the karma, and karma can be dharma or adharma. So dharma dharmari samskara. That dharma dharma adharma that produces papa punyam, that is one thing. In addition to that, it also has a certain impact on the person in molding the person, in creating a samskara in the person, that in creating, in making him a person of a certain nature. Vartamana janmadu abhivyaktaha. So the action, the repeated action determines the swabhava. The swabhava, the nature, is determined by what karma he does. What karma he does, repeatedly he does, that determines. That is called as prakriti. So therefore prakriti nyanti bhutani. All the bhutas, they yanti, they anugachanti, they act in keeping with the prakriti. Therefore, with regard to the prakriti, with regard to the swabhava, which has been already determined by the karma, dharma, adharma, karma, purvakrita, taihi utpannaha samskaraha, with regard to that, nigraha kim karishyati, hamava anyasya va, whether it is my control or the other person's is on control, what can it do? It cannot do anything. That is the meaning. Therefore, nigraha, that control with regard to the prakriti, is of no avail, no use. That is what the meaning of the shloka is. Here we have to note, with regard to the purvakrita samskara, nigraha kim karishyati, nigraha nisheda rupaha, nigraha kim karishyati, kimapi kartum na shakyate. But the prakriti will not become pravritti immediately. There's a difference. Prakriti is the swabhava, the nature, purvakrita samskaraha, that all becomes prakriti. That Prakriti becoming a Pravritti, converting the Prakriti into an action that happens not immediately. Prakriti produces Ragadvesha. And Ragadvesha are the impelling factors that makes a person do certain karma. In keeping with the Ragadvesha, the karma, dharma, karma, the person or the bhuta. Here we are talking about human beings only. Human beings do. So Prakriti converted into Pravritti through Ragadvesha. Therefore, Ragadvesha factor is there. That is not mentioned in this shloka. That is why the next shloka also to be read. Then only we will understand the whole meaning. The Swabhava being already created by the Purva karma, that Swabhava is natural. Swabhava means that which is natural. That is called Swabhava. Swabhava, not Swarupa, Swabhava. It's natural. And that converting that into, or putting that, or converting that into an action. That is between the Prakriti and Pravritti, there is Ragadvesha. There is some intervening factors that is called Ragadvesha. Ragadvesha intervenes Prakriti and Pravritti. Pravritti means action, engaging in karma, action. Prakriti is Swabhava, that is nature. The action, any action is preceded by the thought. The action is committed at the thought level. First, the action is committed at the thought level, then it manifests at the physical level. Action, when it is done at the thought level, it doesn't produce Papa Punya. Action committed at the level of thought doesn't produce Papa Punya. Only when it is expressed in the form of an action, then only it produces Papa Punya. So Papa Punya is the result, is a palam, it is the karya, the effect of the karma. Papa Punyam, Papa and Punya, when you say Adrishtam, these are the results of the karma. Drishtam, Adrishtam are the results of the manifested, the action, not of the thought. Thoughts are created by once Swabhava, once Samskara, Purva Krita Samskara. The thought of the person is determined by his samskara. This samskara, that is, the samskara based karma determines the thoughts, the vritti of the person. What thought a person entertains depends on what karma he does. Depends on what karma, what action he does. Suppose if the person is a dharmika person, he will entertain good thoughts. His thoughts will be good, therefore his actions will be good. And if a person is an adharmika person, adharmika purusha, always wanting to do himsa or grab things and money from the people, that his thoughts will be adharmika. His thoughts, it's not improper thoughts which are not conducive for committing any dharmika karma. Therefore, his karma also will be adharmika. So as a thought, so will be the action. As the person, so will be the thoughts, so the thoughts, so will be the action. So therefore, the person's nature that determines the type of thoughts he entertains. Over the thought, the person doesn't have any control. The person doesn't have any control. And the thoughts manifesting, the subtle thoughts, the thoughts which are subtle, manifesting into a pravritti, a karma in action. With regard to that, the person has control or not. If the person doesn't have control with regard to thought manifesting into action, then all our Shastra will be of no use. This injunction, Vidhi Nisheda of the Shastra are of no use. Do's and don'ts, the Upadesha of the Shastra are of no use. Neither the Shastra nor the Guru Upadesha are of no avail. Therefore, with regard to what thought you entertain, you don't have any say over it. You don't have any, because they are determined by Purvakrita Samskara. You may be a good person now, but you may have some the thoughts which is not proper because it is Purvakrita. But you have the freedom not to act upon the thought. That is what Bhagavan Krishna is going to say in the next shloka. Acting upon the thought, you have freedom. With regard to the thought, you don't have freedom. That is what here he said, Prakritim yanti bhutani, nigraha kim karishyati. Nigraha with regard to the thoughts, with regard to the vritti, what's happening in the mind, that you don't have any nigraha, you don't have any say over it. What thought I should entertain is not dependent on me. I don't have any say over it. Thoughts come and thoughts go. I just helplessly witness a thought. I just helplessly, I don't have any say over the thought. I don't choose to have a certain thought. It comes and goes. That is why sometimes when bad thoughts occur, we feel guilty, we feel embarrassed, but nothing to feel embarrassed because thoughts come and go. We are at the thought level. But buddhi is the buddhi faculty. Bhagavan has given buddhi faculty to act upon the thought or not. If it is a good one, then you can act upon it and manifest that in the form of the physical karma. That is called dharmika karma. And if it is not a good thought, you can filter it. Buddhi does the job of filtering it. It does the job of filtering it and then removing, not acting upon that. You cannot remove the thought. It came and went. But you have the control not to act upon it. So raga dvesha also nothing but thoughts only. Raga dvesha, likes and dislikes. Likes for things and dislikes for things and persons, people, situations. Liking a thing and disliking a thing. Having raga, having a taste for a thing. Raga as such, raga dvesha as such, it's not a problem, but it binds, becomes a problem. When it binds, when raga and dvesha both, when it binds a person, then that becomes the problem. If you have raga for dharma, then it is good. If you have dvesha for adharma, then it is fine, very good. But if you have raga for adharma and dvesha for dharma, then that's a problem. If what you have to do is in keeping with what you like, if you like what you do, then there is no problem. If you like what you are supposed to do, then there is no problem. You enjoy your action. But if you don't like what you do, if you have raga for what you are supposed, if you have dvesha for what you are supposed to do, and if you don't act, then it is the violating one's dharma, then it is papam. So raga and dvesha as such is not a problem. Acting upon it, depending on what it is, but the dharma or adharma, that alone determines the effect of the raga dvesha. So acting upon raga dvesha, one has say, but what thoughts I entertain, the raga and dvesha, which is naturally is there. It is natural. It is naturally is there in a person. I don't choose my raga and dvesha. Now it has been already chosen by me because of my purvakrita samskara. I have raga, I have dvesha. Everybody has raga dvesha. Raga dvesha is natural. One cannot remove raga dvesha, but raga dvesha can be kept under check. That is what is done through karma yoga, neutralization of raga dvesha by doing what one is supposed to do, not acting in keeping with our raga dvesha, acting in keeping with dharma adharma. That requires viveka buddhi. So that is what Bhagavan Krishna is going to say in the next shloka, raga dvesho vivastito. So therefore, the prakriti, before becoming a pravritti, there are raga dvesha vrittis, raga dvesha nothing but their vritti, their thoughts. With regard to the thoughts, you don't have say, but with regard to acting upon the thought, you have a say. That is why the Shastras are valid. That is why Guru Upadeshas, Dharma Shastras, all the Shastras, they find validity. Otherwise, they will become anartha. They become useless. When beings act in keeping with Sabhava, and there is no say over the action, then what is the use of Shastram? All the Shastrams, Veda Purva, their karma Shastram in doing, when Prakritis act and no say over it, then these Shastrams become useless. The Dharma Shastram, Niti Shastram, all this will become useless. And the very fact, Purushartha, when we say Purushartha, Purushakara, Purushartha, even human goals, what we say, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Purushartha, that itself implies there is free will. Free will is there, therefore you choose your Purushartha. If free will is not there, human beings act in keeping with this, is helplessly if he acts, then there is no free will. If free will is not there, then why there are Purusharthas? There cannot be Purusharthas at all. Because the Purusharthas are there, that shows that there is free will. Free will is there. Therefore, with regard to acting upon the Raga Dvesha, you have free will. But with regard to Raga Dvesha, you don't have free will. Because they are determined by your samskara, your sabhava, your prakriti. Therefore, nigraha kim karishyati iti, the previous shloka Bhagavan Krishna says. So, the 33rd shloka and 34th shloka, if you read together, then there will not be any confusion. Only 33rd shloka up to that shloka alone, if it is studied independently and if it is quoted, then the understanding, wrong understanding may come that everything is predetermined, everything is fate, predetermined. So my action is keeping with my Prakriti. Therefore, I don't have save over it. Therefore, what I do, whether it is dharma or adharma, is in keeping with my Prakriti. And therefore, how can you account me for my karma? It is keeping with my swabhava. My swabhava, you will attribute all the problem to your swabhava, your Prakriti. And you will feign innocence. That is not acceptable. Bhagavan has given free will. Bhagavan has given free will. In fact, you operate your free will every moment. So, when free will is operated, then where is the free will? With regard to what free will is, that is what being said in the following shloka, 34th shloka. We will read. Yadi sarvo jantuhu
यदि सर्वो जन्तुः
atmanaha
आत्मनः
prakriti sadrisham eva cheshtate
प्रकृतिसदृशमेव चेष्टते
nacha prakriti shunyaha
न च
प्रकृतिशून्यः
kaschidasti
कश्चिदस्ति
tataha
ततः
purushakarasya
पुरुषकारस्य
vishayanupapattehe
विषयानुपपत्तेः
shastra anarthakya prapto
शास्त्रानर्थक्य
प्राप्तौ
idam uchyate
इदमुच्यते
Shastranarthakya prapta vidamuchyate. You have to read like that anyway. Yadi sarvaha jantuhu. Yadi sarvaha jantuhu cheshtate. Atmanaha prakriti sadrisham ega. If all beings act in keeping with one's swabhava, one's nature, prakriti, Atmanaha, in keeping with one's own Sabhava, Prakriti, Nacha Prakriti Shunyaha Kaschidasti, and nobody is bereft of this Prakriti. Nacha Prakriti Shunyaha Kaschidasti. There are no human beings who is Prakriti Shunyaha. Because every human being has a past. What a person now is determined by his past karma, either of this janma or the immediate preceding janma or the janmas before. That determines the prakriti. So that is why one has to be highly conscious of what one does. Because what you do, what you repeatedly do, that becomes your prakriti. Your thoughts are determined your karma. This is a cycle. This is a cycle. Actions are produced by thoughts, and the thoughts produce the action. So each one favors the other. So it's a cycle. And if the thoughts are good, then there is no problem. If the thoughts are good, therefore the actions are good, dharmika, and that produces again good thoughts. Therefore, no problem. It is you are in keeping with the order of Ishvara. You are not violating, so therefore no problem. If the thoughts are not good, at the thought level, there is adharma, you are adharmika. When it is converted into a physical action, and that is adharmika karma. Adharmika karma produces drishtapalam as well as adrishtapalam. Adrishtapalam in the form of punya, papa punya, and also your sabhava is determined by that karma. That is also a result. that your svabhava is determined by the karma, and that strengthens the thought you entertain. Therefore, the strengthening of the thoughts by the karma. Therefore, it is a cycle. If you are unaware, you helplessly get caught in this cycle. So therefore, one has to be alert. So if the thoughts are not good, one need not worry, because the thoughts were determined by the previous karma, over which we don't have any say, already done, already created. And now you have the free will to act upon the thought. You can stop it. You cannot stop the thought. You cannot stop the thought, but you can stop from acting upon the thought. Thoughts are inevitable. Thoughts you cannot avoid, but acting upon the thought, you have free will. So therefore, thoughts are because of the Prakriti. Therefore, Prakriti Shunyaha Kopi Nasti, Kaschit Api Nasti. There are no human beings without Prakriti. Yes, naturally there will be no human being without Prakriti, because the person, he had committed action before, and that determines the Prakriti of the person. So what a person is, what he had done before. What a person is, what he had done before. That alone determines the svabhava of the person. So therefore, Prakriti Shunyaha Kaschit Nasti. Tataha, therefore, Purushakarasya Vishaya Anupapatteke Shastranartakya Prapta Idam Uchyate. Therefore, since nobody is without Prakriti, without svabhava, therefore, Purushakara is human effort. If that is so, with human effort, Vishayanupapatteke, if everybody has got svabhava, the Prakriti, then, and everybody acts according to one's samskara, the svabhava, then there comes the Vishaya Anupapatti. Vishaya Anupapatti is purposelessness or impossibility of the scope of Purushakara, the free will. Tataha Purushakarasya Vishaya Anupapattihi. Vishaya Anupapattehe, that is a hetu for Shastram to become anartha. Therefore, because of the impossibility of human effort, if everyone acts in keeping with this svabhava, samskara, prakriti, then there is no free will. There is no possibility for scope of free will. If that is so, then what will happen to the Shastram? Shastra, if free will is not there, then Shastra anartakya prapto idam uchyate. Shastram will become useless. Therefore, idam uchyate, this is being said by Bhagavan. Why Shastra anartakyam? Because Shastram tells do this, don't do this. Vidhi Nishedatmakam Shastram tells do this, don't do this, Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. That becomes useless. How can Shastram be useless? Therefore, idam uchyate, this is being said. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says this. What? Indriyasyendriyasyarthe
Indriyasya
ragadveshau vyavastitau.
Ragadveshau vyavastitau.
The typo. Ragadvo is that, not do. Ragadveshau vyavastitau. Tayor navashama gachet.
Tayo namashamagachet.
Tau hyasya paripanthinau.
Tau yasya paripanthinau.
So, here Bhagavan says there is free will. The previous shloka seems to convey that there is no free will. That's why that shloka to be understood properly. Over the thought, what you entertain, you don't have free will. That is why people struggle to meditate. When they meditate, all the thoughts come. Even the thoughts they could not have imagined during other states, those thoughts will come. That is the thoughts find time to come, because when you sit for meditation, you're relaxed. Only when you're relaxed, all these things will come. All the kashaya, everything will come. But one has to process it. One has to face it. One should not be overpowered by that. That is, you should be able to face it, witness that objectively. It is there. At least you recognize these are there, comes and goes. Don't identify with those and act upon it or feel guilty about it. Be objective. Being objective to what comes, what thought comes. Because these thoughts come without your permission. It doesn't ask permission and come. But what about the karma? What about the acting upon the thought, the action? That has your permission. You sanction certain thoughts and you act upon it. That becomes karma, and that produces papa punya, dashtapalam, adashtapalam, etc. And again, that will create your svabhava. It's a cycle. So therefore, with regard to what thought you entertain, nigraha kimapi na karishyati. Therefore, here Bhagavan Krishna says, over the thought, what you entertain, you don't have free will, but there is free will. Free will, first of all, it is there. One has to accept, not that everything is predetermined. If everything is predetermined, and if you are not free, then karma is you'll be forced to do karma, and if you are forced to do karma is also predetermined. If everything is predetermined, then there will be no scope for moksha. Moksha implies a lot of free will. You have to choose to select, you have to choose to listen to the Shastra. That implies a lot of free will. So if free will is not there, even attending the class is not possible. So a lot of free will is involved. Every Purushartha implies free will. Therefore, free will has to be accepted. Whether the free will is so free or not, that depends on how strong one's prakriti is. That depends on how strong one's prakriti is, one's samskara is. Samskara is what we have gained. What we have gained, that is what is samskara is. We don't know what samskara we had gained. But at least from now, we can be alert in gaining this good samskara, so that our svabhava, our prakriti, if not good, it will become good. So that is why this Shastra Patanam, Shastra Shravanam, and chanting, memorization of certain shlokas, Gita, etc., they will create good samskaras. Memorization of Gita, etc., will create good samskaras. So therefore, here Bhagavan Krishna says, Indriyasya arte. 2 times Indriyasya arte is Indriyasya with regard to every Indriya. Indriya meaning sense organ. Indriyani with regard to every Indriya. Indriyasya arte. Ragadveshau vyavastitau. Ragadveshas are there. likes and dislikes. With regard to the artha, that is sense objects of every indriya, with regard to the objects, sense objects, every indriya has got raga dvesha. Raga dvesha vyavastitau. Raga dveshas are bound to be there with regard to every indriya, with regard to every sense object, with regard to sense objects for every indriya, there are raga dvesha. Indriyas have raga dvesha. In fact, indriyas are jadam. Indriyas are made to act by the mind. Backed up by the mind only, the indriyas act. So we have to understand, indriya means it is indriya backed up by the mind. Mind has got raga dvesha. So raga dvesha vyavastita. Raga is there, dvesha is there, and raga dveshas are created by purva karma, purva krita samskara. Raga dvesha vyavastita. So you therefore you have liking for certain things, you have hatred for certain things. And liking and dislike, like and dislike there with regard to the sense objects are there, and you operate through your sense organ. You operate through your sense organ to experience the sense object. Either experience sense object or move away from the sense object. If it is there is raga, then you go after sense objects. If it is dvesha, then you move away from sense objects. So therefore, indriyasya arte is indriyarte, that is sense objects of the sense organs. So with regard to the sense objects, every indriyasya, it is repetition. Vipsa is there. It means prati indriyam. With regard to every indriyani, there are ragadvesha. And this ragadvesha is based on samskara. That is what said in the previous shloka, prakritihi. Based on samskara. Over that, do you have freedom? No. Nigraha kim karishyati. Ragadvesha. Over ragadvesha, you don't have freedom. Samskaras create ragadvesha. Therefore, over samskaras, you don't have nigraha. Therefore, with over ragadvesha, you don't have nigraha. Ragadvesha in the form of the vritti over which you don't have say, you don't have control. Because ragadvesha are determined by samskara, purvakrita samskara. Now, acting upon the ragadvesha, do you have free will or not? You have. How do you know? The second line, Bhagavad Krishna says, kayogo ragadvesha yogo. Vasham na agachet. May you not come under the vasha, the spell, the attack of ragadvesha. It means there is free will. Otherwise, this statement would not be there. So, acting upon the thought, you have free will. Acting upon the raga thought, acting upon the dvesha thought, vasham na agachet. Don't come under the spell. Means you have free will. Why should not I act upon the raga dvesha? Because tauhi asya paripantinau. Because they are paripanti. They are pratibandakau. They are obstacles. They are the creators of obstacles. Obstacles in my spiritual pursuit. They become the obstacles of my spiritual pursuit. Therefore, don't come under the spell of ragadvesha. So ragadvesha being there naturally, that is prakriti created, ragadvesha being there naturally, don't act upon it because they will become the obstacles. They become the obstacles in your pursuit. Therefore, refrain from acting upon the ragadvesha. That shows that there is free will. Therefore, only karma yoga is possible. Therefore, only Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is this handling this Raga Dvesha, management of Raga Dvesha. That is what Karma Yoga is about. So, therefore, free will is there. Helplessness with regard to the thought and free will with regard to acting upon the thought, both are there. So, therefore, from this two shlokas, it is clear with regard to the Prakriti, there is no say over it. But with regard to acting upon the Prakriti, one has say. You cannot change the Prakriti of the person because it's already predetermined. Whereas with regard to acting upon the Prakriti, one has free will. Therefore, only here Bhagavan Krishna says, Tayoho Vasham na agachet. Prakriti creates the thoughts with the vritti, and vritti alone becomes pravritti. So, before the vritti becomes pravritti, if you apply your viveka, the buddhi, and filter the raga dvesha and act in what is to be done, act dharmically, then that is the application of your free will. That is the application of your free will. Free will is there, not carried over by raga, neither by dvesha. You act in keeping with what is to be done. Dharmically, you act. So therefore, it is the use of free will. The abuse of free will is acting in keeping with raga, acting in keeping with dvesha. And if raga dvesha are not in keeping with dharma, that is abuse of free will. So when abuse of free will is possible, then use of free will also must be possible. When abuse of free will, Duryodhana is an example for abuse of free will. When abuse of free will is possible, then use of free will also must be possible. Therefore, free will is very well there. Therefore, here the important Upadesha is given by Bhagavan Krishna. Therefore, you be mindful about what you do, what your actions. Because your actions determines your Prakriti. So, one has to be alert what one does. Because that creates samskara and that creates vritti, and vritti alone later manifests in the form of actions. Therefore, one has to be alert with regard to the karma. That is why karma yoga. So karma yoga is being alert to what one does. Being alert to there is complete use of free will, acting dharmically, doing what is to be done, not violating the order of Ishvara. That is why Ishvararpana Buddhi. Even if you don't like certain karma, but it is your duty to be done, you do it as Ishvararpana Buddhi. And even if the results are not keeping with your expectation, accept the results as Ishvara Prasada. That is how you neutralize your Raga Dvesha. That is how you handle Raga Dvesha. Not allowing the Raga Dvesha to handle you. You handle Raga Dvesha. Therefore, free will. That is how you manifest the free will. That is how the free will is operated. Therefore, Tayota Vashamagachet. If you come under the spell of Raga Dvesha, then your actions will be dictated by Raga Dvesha and it will be adharmic. That will be not conducive for your spiritual pursuit. Therefore, Tayoga Vasham na agachet. And the reason is they are paripanti. Paripantin means it is robbers. Patin, panta means path. So, like the robbers, the wayside robbers, these Raga Dvesha are like the wayside robbers. They rob you. They rob you of your spiritual wealth. They rob you of your spiritual wealth. What is the main spiritual wealth? The buddhi faculty. That is robbed of. The Viveka Buddhi is robbed of. Your Viveka Buddhi will be robbed of if you come under the spell of Raga Dvesha. Therefore, Tayorna Vasham Agachet. Not allowing Raga Dvesha to convert into a karma. Don't allow the Raga Dvesha to manifest into an activity, into karma. So apply your buddhi. You need to apply your buddhi, process the Raga Dvesha and filter it and do karma which is in keeping with dharma. That is called Viveka. So that is how you handle Raga Dvesha. That is how you handle Raga Dvesha, and that Raga Dvesha handling is what is called Karma Yoga. So the Karma Yoga only here, Bhagavan Krishna suggests. Because it is a yoga, it is a sadhana. In sadhana, you do certain things, even if you don't like, you do it because it is a sadhana. Even if it is not to your liking, you do because it is a sadhana. Why you sadhana? Because the phalam is greater. The phalam is greater, therefore you do the sadhana. If the phalam is what you're liking, and if that is not conducive to your spiritual pursuit, then it is not a sadhana. One has to refrain from doing it. So because it is a sadhana for your spiritual pursuit, therefore this karma becomes a sadhana, a yoga, and therefore karma yoga. Because through karma yoga, you handle raga dvesha. And these are the raga dveshas are paripanti. They are very dangerous. They rob you of your spiritual wealth. Therefore, one has to handle it. So by repeated practice, by being more and more alert to what one does, one can handle. Let the raga dvesha be managed by you. Let not the raga dvesha manage you. That is what the karma yoga is all about. You should learn to manage them. Therefore, tayoga vasham na agachet. It's a very important upadesha. So here it is very particular to Arjuna, and it is in general to all the sadhakas. Here, the raga and dvesha, what Arjuna has as a spiritual aspirant, the upadesha is given to Arjuna. You don't come under the spell of raga and refrain from what you're supposed to do. That is this dharma yuddha. Even if you don't like, you have to fight. In fact, Arjuna wanted to fight. He wanted to get back the kingdom. That's why he had come to the Kurukshetra. Now, having seen his own Kirtan king, he wants to withdraw. So that is raga. So, and he wants to take sannyasa and go to Rishikesh. Suddenly he's interested in Shreyas, moksha. And moksha is not out of understanding. It's not out of viveka, vairagya. It is because of his immediate situation. So therefore only Krishna advises him. Here, if you want to be a sadhaka, if you want to have ultimate good and want to pursue that, first you be a karma yogi, and the first prerequisite of karma yogi is one has to do what one's supposed to do, being free from raga dvesha. So therefore, this upadesha is very specific to Arjuna as a sadhaka, and in particular, and it is very general to all the sadhakas. Tayoho vasamna agachet. This is a very important upadesha. We'll read the Bhashyam. Indriyasyeti.
Indriyasyeti.
Indriyasyendriyasyarthe.
Indriyasyendriyasyarthe.
Sarvendriyanamarte.
सर्वेन्द्रियाणामर्थे
शब्दादि विषये
शब्दादिविषये
इष्टे रागे इष्टे रागः
ते रागः
अनिष्टे द्वेषः इति एवम्
अनिष्टे द्वेषः
अनिष्टे
द्वेषः इत्येवं
प्रतीन्द्रियार्थे
प्रतीन्द्रियार्थे
रागद्वेषौ
रागद्वेषौ
अवश्यं भाविनौ.
अवश्यं भाविनौ.
So indriyasya sarvendriyana. When you repeat 2 times, that is vipsa. Bodham bodham prati bodham prati bodham. Dinam prati dinam. So indriyasya prati indriya. So Bhashakara says prati indriyarte prati indriyam. Indriyam prati indriyam. It is abhibhav samasa. Prati indriyarte prati indriyam. Indriyam prati indriyam. That is with regard to every indriya, with regard to all sense organs. Arte, with regard to the objects, with regard to sense objects of all the sense organs. Sarvendriyanam arte, all the sense organs. Shabdadi vishaye, shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandhadi vishaye, rupa shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandhanam vishaye, with reference to the objects, sense objects. That is the artha. Indriyasya artha, vishayaha. Shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha. That is ishtaha, ragaha ishtaha. Ishte ragaha. That is ishte vishaye ragaha. Ishte is ishte. Shabdadi vishaye ishte ragaha. With reference to ishta vishaya, that is raga. With reference to the desired objects, there is a liking, a raga, an attachment. Anishta vishaye dveshaha. With regard to the undesirable object, there is dvesha. Iti evam, this vyavastha, this iti evam, in this manner, pratindriyarte, with regard to every sense organ, ragadvesham avashyam bhavino. Ragadvesha are bound to be there. So one need not feel guilty with regard to ragadvesha, what one has. It will be there. Ragadvesha is natural. Ragadvesha is natural. That nobody is free from ragadvesha. Nobody, even jnanis are not free from ragadvesha. But jnanis ragadvesha are harmless and is very being jnani, therefore he will not act upon the ragadvesha. So, in fact, dvesha will not be not the dvesha what we think. Dvesha is he will not hate, he will not have hatred for anything. Similarly, he doesn't have raga for anything. But his raga dvesha is only a provisional. because of his prakriti, he acts in a certain way. Therefore, we may think he has got raga and dvesha as a human being. As a human being, he may have certain raga dvesha. He may have liking for certain food, for example. He may have dvesha for certain thing. That is harmless. So, but it is avashyam bhavino, it will be there. So raga dveshas, they are there for every being, they are for everybody. So it is natural. Avashyam bhavino, these are bound to be there. These are not created by me now. It is there. Purvakrita spurta samskaraha. That is the hetu. It is there. Since a long time it is there. Carried over from Janma to Janma, it is there. Therefore, avashyam bhavino, it will be bound to be there. So one need not feel guilty with regard to the ragadvesha. So ragadvesha here means that the ragadvesha thoughts. Ragadvesha nothing but they are vritti. They are thoughts. At the thought level, there will be raga, there will be dvesha. At the thought level, it is that because of the prakriti, the samskara. Now, these thoughts becoming an action, converting into the action. With regard to that, we have free will. Therefore, only Tayorna Vasham Agachet. Next time we will read Tatra Ayam
Tatra ayam
Purushakarasya
Purushakarasya
Shastrartasya cha
शास्त्रार्थस्य च
Vishayaha Uchyate
Vishayah
उच्यते
Shastrarte Pravrittaha
शास्त्रार्थे प्रवृत्तः
Pravrittaha
Purvam eva
Purvameva
Ragadveshayoho
Ragadveshayoho
Vasham na gachet
Vasham na agachet
Tatra ayam, that being so, what being so, the Ragadvesham Avashyam Bhavinam, that being so. Purusha Akarasya, Purusha Akara, that is Purushartha, effort, human effort. The human effort, Purusha Akarasya, Shastrasya, Shastrartasya, Purushakarasya, that is Purushakara is free will. Purushakarasya, Shastrartasya cha Ayam Vishyaha iti uchyate. So Purushakara, that is effort. Purushakara is human effort. Human effort is that implies there is free will. Effort means free will is there. So human effort, that is free will, and Shastrartha, that is the Upadesha of the teaching. Tatra ayam Purushakarasya Shastratasya cha Vishayaha uchyate. That being so, the scope for human endeavor, that is effort, free will, and the teaching, the Shastrartha, the Upadesha of the Shastram is being said. Vishayaha uchyate. Shastrarte pravrittaha, yaha pravrittaha, referring to the person, one who is engaged in the Shastrarte, in what the Shastram teaches. Purvameva ragadveshayoho vayam Purvameva ragadveshayoho vasham na agachet. That is, one should, in the beginning itself, Shastrarte pravrittaha, yaha purushaha pravrittaha, the person who engages in the action in keeping with the teaching of the Shastram. In the beginning itself, Purvameva ragadveshayoho vasham na agachet, not come under the spell of this ragadvesha. Shastrarte pravrittaha, that is pravrittaha here talking about karma yogi. Here the chapter is karma yoga, and therefore whom we are talking about, karma yogi. So karma yogi who is interested in moksha, who acts in keeping with what the Shastram says, because he is exposed to teaching of the Shastram, yes, the knowledge of the Shastram, that has got dharma viveka. Therefore, let him not come under the spell of ragadvesha. Purvam eva, in the beginning itself. In the beginning means what beginning? Before the ragadvesha manifest into karma, action, let him not come under the spell of ragadvesha. Before the ragadvesha becoming into converted into karma, let him not come under the spell. Purvameva, that is what Purvameva. That is why I said Prakriti followed by ragadvesha, and ragadvesha converted into pravritti. So therefore, before the ragadvesha becomes the pravritti, Purvameva. That's what Purvameva, before. Tayorna vasham agachet. Before ragadvesha becomes into the karma, one has to, this person has to be alert and not come under the spell of ragadvesha. He has to handle it before it before it gets converted into karma, the action. Before it's put into action. Before the ragadvesha is put into action, Shastrarte pravrittaha tayoga vasham na agachet. Shastrarte, this the pravrittaha yaha karmayogi shastrate pravrittaha saha tayoga vasham na agachet. It did not come under the vasha of this raga dvesha. So therefore, one has to apply viveka buddhi. Bhagavan has given buddhi. One has to apply that and intelligently handle this raga dvesha, not allowing them to manifest into karma. That is what intelligent handling. Let his action be not dictated by raga dvesha. That is what tayoga vasham na agachet. Then the next line. Yahi purushasya
याहि
हि
पुरुषस्य
पुरुषस्य
prakritihi
प्रकृतिः
प्रकृतिः
sa ragadvesha purasaraiva
सा
सा
रागद्वेषपुरःसरा
रागद्वेषपुरःसरैव
swakarye
स्वकार्ये
purusham pravartayati
पुरुषं प्रवर्तयति
यति
tada swadharma parityagaha
तदा
तदा
स्वधर्मपरित्यागः
स्वधर्मपरित्यागः
paradharmanushthanam cha bhavati.
परधर्मानुष्ठानं च भवति
भवति.
Let me complete this the commentary today. Yahi purushasya prakritihi sa prakritihi ragadvesha purasaraiva swakarye purusham pravartayati. So yahi purushasya prakritihi, the purushasya prakritihi, the swabhava, the samskara of the person, prakritihi, kasya purushasya. So purushasya prakritihi, that which is the nature of the person, sa ragadvesha purasara eva, ragadvesha purasara plus eva ragadvesha purasara eva sandhi, ragadvesha purasara swakarye purusham pravartayati. So that which is the swabhava of the person, that impulse pravartayati, that impels the person into swakarya, into karma, activity, action. That is action based on ragadvesha. That is samskara. Ragadvesha is nothing but samskara. Ragadvesha is samskara. It is born of samskara. And ragadvesha purasara, samskara created, prakriti created the ragadvesha. Ragadvesha purasara through the ragadvesha. Through the ragadvesha, sa prakriti, sa referring to prakriti, that prakriti through ragadvesha propels the person into karma. Swakarye purusham pravartayati. Karye, into action. Pravartayati, engages, impulse. What? This prakriti. That which is the prakriti of the purusha, that which is the prakriti of the purusha, that prakriti through ragadvesha purasaraiva, purusham, through ragadvesha, it impels, it engages the person into action, swakarye, purusham pravartayati. So, therefore, ragadvesha impels a person into action. Ragadvesha propels a person, engages a person into action. And ragadveshas are created by the prakriti, that is samskara. Therefore, ragadvesha purasara, through the ragadvesha, the prakriti impels a person into karma. Ragadvesha purasara is a bahuvrigi samasa, qualifies a prakriti. Kidrisha prakriti ragadvesha purasara prakriti. The prakriti through ragadvesha acts upon the person and makes him do karma, makes him do activities. So ragadvesha purasara, it qualifies the prakriti. Ragascha dveshascha ragadvesha, itareta dvandva samasa. Ragadveshau purasarau eva purasarau yasyaha prakritehe sa prakritihi ragadvesha purasara prakritihi. So that prakriti which is Ragadvesha Purasara Prakriti, that Prakriti through Ragadvesha acts upon the person, engages him into Karya, Karye Pravartayati. Then what will happen? Suppose if Ragadvesha impels a person into action, then what will happen? Tada Swadharma Parityagaha Bhavati. Swadharma Parityaga is the person gives up his Swadharma, one's own dharma. Not only that, Paradharma Anushtanam Chabhavati. Because he has raga for some other dharma, somebody else karma, therefore he gives up his Swadharma because he has got dvesha for his dharma and raga for other dharma. Because he has got raga for other dharma, therefore paradharma anushtanam, and dvesha for his own dharma, what he's supposed to do, therefore swadharma parityagaha. Swadharma parityaga is because of dvesha with regard to one's dharma, and paradharma anushtanam is because of raga with regard to others' dharma. This would be the result. This would happen. So doing others' karma, others' duty, giving up at the cost of what? At the cost of giving up one's own dharma. That is not proper. That is acting, violating against the order. So, if a person acts, if anybody in any walk of life acts like that, then what will happen? There will be disorder. There will be chaos. If a family member, he himself acts, giving up his swadharma and paradharma anushtanam, there will be chaos in the family. If a person in the society acts like that, there will be chaos. If a person in an office acts like that, it will be a problem. What he's supposed to, he doesn't do. What job he's supposed to complete, he doesn't do. But he does the job of other person. Then how will this person will get salary? So, therefore, this will lead to chaos, this will lead to problem, and this is not proper also. This is not proper also. What is proper is sticking to one's own dharma, that is proper. And that is not possible if the person comes under the spell of ragadvesha. And Prakriti is capable of engaging the person in paradharma at the cost of one's dharma through ragadvesha. That Prakriti can do. That power Prakriti has got. Therefore, one has to intelligently act before ragadvesha overpowers you. That is the upadesha. That is the important upadesha. Very much important for all of us. As a sadhaka, it is very important. One has to be alert to what one does, whether one is acting upon the ragadvesha, the thought, or one is acting freely without bound by ragadvesha, doing what is to be done. That is what is called the alert life, the intelligent life. So one has to be intelligent. Intelligent means one has to use his viveka buddhi. Bhagavan has given the intelligence, the buddhi. One has to apply and act intelligently. Intelligently act and come out from this spell of ragadvesha. So therefore, Karma Yoga is all about handling the ragadvesha. So ragadvesha, till it loses its strength, one has to manage. After that, ragadvesha completely cannot go. It cannot eradicate. It is already there. But you can, like apasmara, Dakshinamurti, is keeping apasmara in control. Similarly, the ragadvesha can be managed. That is what is called neutralization. Neutralization is not complete removal. Ragadvesha, it is there. You cannot remove it, but you can manage it. That is what is all about Karma Yoga, managing ragadvesha. That is important for the pursuit of the jnanam. With ragadvesha, one cannot pursue jnanam. So ragadvesha manage at the level of Karma Yoga, and thereafter, after that, the person can get into the jnana yoga. With raga and dvesha, one cannot pursue jnana. That will not give the pal of the benefit. Then if the person pursues jnana yoga, then it will be an academic study. Because he has got raga and dvesha, then the study will be academic. Academic study, like any other study, it will not give moksha. Academic study means that is not intended for moksha. That is academic study. That will not serve the purpose. That it can serve the purpose only for making money or gaining some other purushartha, short-term purushartha. For long-term purushartha, it's of no use. So, as a sadhaka, as a mumukshu, one this being a karma yogi, the person has to handle the raga dvesha intelligently, not coming under the spell. Fine. The next line, yada puna.
Yada punaha.
Okay, it's a very I think that's the sandhi what we have seen in the last class, in the other Samskritam class. Yada puna, punar plus punaha plus raga dvesha. Recently in the other Samskritam class we saw. So yada puna, either you have to read yada puna raga dvesha or yada punaha. Splitting that also you can read. So yada puna, is there any word puna? No word puna. So yada punaha, punar is avyayam, repanta, antar punar iti repa. The repa, what happened? Repasya, repe pare repasya lopaha bhavati. Then the and becomes dirgha. Therefore yada puna. It's a special rule. Yada puna ragadveshau.
Yada punaragadveshau.
Tat pratipakshena.
Tat
Pratipakshena
pratipakshena.
Niyamayati.
Niyamayati.
Tada shastra drishtireva.
Tada shastra drishtireva.
Purusho bhavati.
Purusho bhavati.
Na prakriti vashaha.
Na prakriti vashaha.
Tasmatayoho ragadveshayoho.
Tasmat
Vasham na gachet.
vasham na gachet.
Yada punaha. Punaha means again. Yada tada. Ragadvesho tat pratipakshena niyamayati. Yada, when ragadvesha tat pratipakshena niyamayati, tada shastra drishtihi purushaha bhavati, na prakriti vashaha. So, when the person pratipakshena niyamayati means when he manages pratipakshena, when the person manages the ragadvesha, pratipakshena ragadvesho niyamayati, niyamanam karoti, he manages. When the person intelligently manages the ragadvesha, tada shastra drishtihi purusha bhavati. Tada eva shastra drishtihi purusha bhavati. He becomes the person having the vision of shastra. Shastra drishtihi is a Bhagavad samasa. Shastra drishtihi is a Bhagavad samasa. Shastram drishtihi yasya saha shastra drishtihi. The person has got the shastrameva drishtihi yasya saha. The person has vision of the shastram. Shastra drishti purushaha bhavati. When the person manages ragadvesha niyamayati tat pratipakshena. Tat pratipakshena means opposite to ragadvesha. That is, the person, that's why I said managing the ragadvesha. Pratipaksha bhavana. Pratipaksha bhavana is not going with the ragadvesha. Not going with ragadvesha. Pratipaksha. That is acting opposite to ragadvesha. That is deliberately. Because ragadvesha, the level of thought. So, therefore, pratipakshena. Not going with the Ragadvesha, but process the Ragadvesha, the thoughts at the thought level you process. And when the person does, then he becomes Shastra Drishti. He becomes a person of having the vision of the Shastram. Shastram eva drishtihi yasya saha. He enjoys the vision of the Shastram. Na prakriti vashaha. He doesn't come under the control of prakriti vashaha, under the control of the prakriti, one's own nature. Therefore, pratipaksha, that is by opposites. Opposite to pratipaksha, opposite to ragadvesha, when he acts, that is, when he manages ragadvesha, then the person will be acting in keeping with the dharma. That is what Shastra Drishtihi. When the person doesn't act in keeping with ragadvesha, then the person will be acting in keeping with dharma. Then the person is Shastra Drishtihi. The person enjoys or has the vision of the Shastram. That is, the vision of the person and the vision of the Shastram are not different. Shastram eva drishtihi bhavati yasya saha Shastra Drishtihi. Shastra Drishtihi Purushaha. Purushaha is qualified by the word Shastra Drishtihi. The person becomes the person enjoys the vision of the Shastram because he has got Pratipaksha Bhavana for Ragadvesha. He has got Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha means opposite, contrary to the Ragadvesha. He acts contrary to Ragadvesha, therefore enjoys the vision of the Shastram, therefore naturally his karma would be in keeping with Shastram Dharma. Na Prakriti Vashaha. Tasmat. Okay, that also we have read. Tasmat Ayoho Ragadvesha Yoho Vasham na agache. Therefore, may one not come under the spell of this Ragadvesha. Vasham na agachet. Ragadvesha Yogo, Tayogo Ragadvesha Yogo, Vasham na agachet. But may one not come under the spell of Ragadvesha. This one has to alertly, deliberately do it. Not act upon Ragadvesha, act in contrary to Ragadvesha. That is the Upadesha. Yataha tau
Yataha tau
Yasya Purushasya Paripantinau
Paripantinau
Shreyo Margasya Vignakartaro
Vignakartaro
Taskaro Iva Patityartaha.
Taskarau iva patityarthaha.
Patityartaha. What is Patityartaha? You have to split. Pati Ityartaha.
Ityartha.
Pati is what? Pati is Saptami Vibhakti of Patin Shabda. Pati. Patin is path. Patin Nakaranta Shabda. Panta Pantano Pantanaha. Pantanam Pantano Pataha. Therefore, Saptami is Pati. In the path. Taskarau is what? Taskara is robber. Taskarau. Why Taskarau? Because Ragadvesha, two things are there. Ragasya Dveshasya Ragadvesha. Therefore, Taskarau. Vignakartaro. Vigna is obstacle. That is what Paripanti is. Vignakartaro. They are the producer of obstacle. This Ragadvesha, Paripantinau is equal to Vignakartaro. They are Taskaro. They are robbers. Taskara. Taskara means robber. Taskaro. They are the robbers of your wealth. And they are in the pati, in the path. What path? Shreyo Margasya. They are obstacles in the path of moksha. Shreyas. That is moksha Margasya. They rob of your wisdom. The faculty, buddhi faculty is there. If you are not alert, it robs you off. So therefore, one has to be highly alert. Shreyo Margasya, in the path of moksha, Shreyo Margasya, Paripantino, Taskaro, Vignakartaro, Bhavati, Asya Purushasya, Tau referring to Ragadvesha. This is an important, very important shloka. The whole spiritual life is about handling this Ragadvesha only. This, if you handle Raga Dvesha, 50% of the problem is solved. Handling Raga Dvesha solves the 50% of the problem. You are 50%, you are free. See, the freedom is not outside. As we have been studying Shastram, freedom is not located anywhere. It is within. The freedom is within. Moksha is not getting away or going to some place or escaping from this world. You cannot, where you will go, wherever you go, the world will be there, samsara will be there. You carry with you the samsara, the same mind, the same raga desha, wherever you go, it's going to manifest there. Even if nobody is there, you will project your imagination that is born of this raga dvesha. You will start loving something, hating something. That's again, you are going to create your own cocoon, the world of samsara, and get caught and struggle. That will be there. Therefore, it is not running away or going away from any place. It is any situation, it being there and handling it. So, therefore, it's all this managing this raga dvesha. One has to be very alert with regard to this acting upon the thought. For no reason we like something, for no reason we hate something. For no reason means not immediate reason. Maybe it is Purvakrita samskara, but whether it is in keeping with dharma or adharma, that we have to see. Therefore, with the thoughts are inevitable, but acting upon the thought, one has free will. Therefore, one has to be very alert to pronounce the act. In pronouncing the act, one has to be very alert. That's what the alert life. This karma yoga is nothing but the alert life. Karma yoga is not just doing karma and just saying that Ishvara Arpanam iti, just through work, just through words. It is not karma yoga. It is, when you say Ishvara Arpanam, means you are committed to the action that is guaranteed that it will not violate the order. It will not violate the order of Ishvara. Not violate the order of Ishvara means not doing himsa, not doing any sort of the mistake that or the papam that will create disturbance, that will disturb the order, that will create chaos. So refraining from all. So therefore, leading the alert life, that is important. So once if a person, if he leads this life, alert life, being alert to what he does over a period of time, his svabhava itself will change. His svabhava itself, slowly it will change. He will realize it's just a thought. He will not act upon the thought. But that requires deliberation. That requires the free will. That's why Bhagavan Krishna has said, Svalpam apyasya dharmasya trayato bhagato bhayat. Even a little amount of effort in this field, it will help him to cross over the samsara. So it's all about being alert and leading an alert life. Alert to what thought comes. One has to be alert to watch the thoughts and acting upon it. Even though you don't have any say over what thoughts you entertain, but still one can be alert, watch it. At least one can be aware of the thoughts. You can be aware of it. It's all about this is what in meditation it is we do. In meditation, we don't control the thoughts. There is no nigraha, there is no this chitta vritti nirodha, we say. Nirodha is also wrongly interpreted. We cannot suppress the thoughts. Suppression of thoughts is not possible. Suppression will not do any benefit, will not give any benefit. Suppression will lead to problem. Allow the thoughts, let it come, be aware. Be aware those thoughts are there. Because the thoughts come and go. You are helplessly, you watch it. Nothing, no, that is helplessly means. It is naturally, it is there. So you cannot do anything with regard to that. Therefore, watch it. Be alert and watch it. But acting upon it, that one has freedom. One has to intelligently act upon what is proper and avoid what is improper. So that is all about this karma yoga. That is what is spiritual life is about. One has to start from there and progress slowly towards the study of Shastram. Without that, the study of Shastram also, of as I said, it will be of only academic study. It will not really give the intended the result. Moksha. Moksha is internal freedom. I am free now, not after. If freedom is there, it is here and now. Not bound by place, not bound by people, not bound by situation. All the time, I enjoy being free. Freedom is ours. Nobody can steal the freedom. If at all the person loses freedom, it is he himself allows the freedom to be lost. So, therefore, gaining the freedom, already one is free. One has to gain the freedom. To gain the freedom, one has to be alert. Alert with regard to the thoughts and the acting upon the thought. So, pravritti. Pravritti is important, over which pravritti towards pravritti that is acting, pravritti in keeping with dharma, and pravritti in pravritti means pravritti and prakriti. Don't confuse. Pravritti is action, prakriti is sabhava. So in between the two only this raga dvesha in the form of the vritti is there. So prakriti, let the prakriti, let the pravritti be not dictated by the raga dvesha, the prakriti. Let the pravritti be not dictated by prakriti. This is what is karma yoga. Pravritti not dictated by prakriti. That is what is karma yoga. That is the putting into action. Pravritti meaning action, engagement in activities. That should not be based on prakriti. Therefore, being a karma yogi, one has to apply the free will all the time. There is no time where free will can be loosened. It is to be kept. No, it is to be handled by the buddhi all the time intelligently. That's why Swamiji used to say intelligent living. Spiritual life is about intelligent living. It is not casual or lethargic life. It is, there is no intellectual lethargy. There is no physical lethargy. It is about intelligent, being intelligent and intelligent living. That is what makes a person spiritual, not running away or escapism. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. We will read from Gita Priyabodhini also. I have not read, we have not seen. We'll see the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So here power is not there.